night was thick with mist as the village of Gretton slept under a silver moon. A gentle wind whispered through the trees, rustling leaves like ghostly murmurs. But within the small cottage at the edge of the forest, silence shattered with a mother's scream. Mira's bed was empty. Elaine, her mother, trembled as she clutched the sheets, her heart hammering against her ribs. Her little girl, her precious Mira, was gone. Just hours ago, she had tucked her in, humming an old lullaby as Mira's golden curls fell across her pillow. Now, only the faint scent of lavender remained. Elaine ran outside, her bare feet sinking into the damp earth. "Mira," she called into the night. But only the wind answered. The villagers gathered with lanterns and torches, their faces pale with fear. No child had ever gone missing in Gretton, until now. "There was a shadow," whispered old man Corwin, his milky eyes filled with dread. Something unnatural moved through the village. Elaine shook her head, refusing to believe the old man's tales. "Mira wouldn't wander off," she said, her voice raw. "Someone took her." The search party fanned out, scouring the fields, the riverbanks, and the narrow paths weaving into the dark forest. But no sign of Mira could be found. As dawn broke, hope dwindled. That was when Elaine noticed something: tiny footprints in the mud behind her cottage, leading toward the woods. But they were not alone. Larger prints, deep and clawed, followed closely behind. Terror clutched Elaine's throat. "The Hollow Man," someone muttered. It was an old legend, one told to keep children from wandering too far. A creature from the dark who stole children away, leaving nothing but whispers in the wind. Elaine refused to surrender to superstition. With nothing but a lantern and her own desperation, she ventured into the forest alone. The trees stretched tall and gnarled, their twisted branches clawing at the sky. Shadows slithered between the trunks, whispering secrets in a language she did not understand. Still, she pressed on, calling Mira's name. Then, she saw it. A ruin stood in a small clearing, a forgotten shrine with crumbling stones covered in ivy. At its center, an old well yawned open like a hungry mouth. A sound, soft, fragile, rose from the darkness below, a child's whimper. "Mira." Elaine's voice cracked as she peered into the well. There, at the bottom, curled like a lost fawn, was her daughter. Elaine fell to her knees, sobs racking her body. "Hold on, my love, I'm coming." She scrambled to find a way down, her fingers scraping against the cold stone. But before she could descend, the air shifted, a shadow moved. Elaine froze as a figure emerged from the trees. It was tall, too tall, its form wrapped in tattered cloth that fluttered despite the stillness of the air. Where its face should have been, there was only a hollow void. The Hollow Man. Elaine's blood turned to ice. The legends were true. The creature took a slow step forward, its head tilting as if studying her. She had no weapon, no defense, only the fire in her heart. "You cannot have her," she whispered, rising to her feet. The Hollow Man did not speak, but she felt its response like a breath against her skin. "She does not belong to you." Elaine clenched her fists. "She is mine. My flesh. My blood." The air grew thick, heavy with something ancient. The creature lifted one long hand, its fingers curling like the roots of a dying tree. Then, from below, a small voice broke the silence. "Mama." Elaine seized the moment. She grabbed a thick vine wrapped around the well's edge and slid down, scraping her hands as she reached Mira. The girl sobbed into her chest, clinging to her like a lifeline. Above them, the Hollow Man loomed, peering down into the well's depths. Elaine knew they had only seconds. With Mira wrapped tightly in her arms, she began the painful climb upward, her muscles burning, her breath ragged. As she reached the top, a chilling sound filled the air, a whisper, ancient and sorrowful. The Hollow Man did not move to stop her. Instead, as the first light of dawn touched the clearing, it simply faded, dissolving into mist, as if it had never been there at all. Elaine ran home with Mira in her arms, tears streaming down her face. The villagers rejoiced, but old man Corwin only watched the trees. His expression grim. "The Hollow Man never takes without reason," he murmured. "Elaine." Did you ever wonder why it chose Mira? Elaine looked at her daughter, clutching her with newfound fear. Mira's blue eyes shimmered, too bright, too knowing, and in the distance, the wind carried a whisper, "Not yet."